going live. Numerology, astrology, and destiny numbers are a path to self-realization. While the actual word numerology wasn't recorded in English until 1907, numerological ideas have been around for centuries. Some of the earliest records of numerology appeared in ancient Egypt and Babylon, along with China, Rome, Japan, and Greece. However, it was the Greek philosopher Pythagoras who became the father of numerology. Numerology is the study of numbers and their energetic influence in your life. Numbers have a far deeper meaning than their numerical value and offer insight on unique characteristics of yourself and others, your personality traits, future events, and your challenges. Numerology is a tool that can help guide you into a new way of thinking about accepting new concepts and ideas concerning relationships and life purpose. Astrology involves the forecasting of earthly and human events through the observation and interpretation of the fixed stars, the sun, the moon, and the planets. Destiny numbers are numbers calculated by getting to the root number of your full name, first, middle, and last, by reducing each name to a single digit, then adding up that total and reducing that to a single digit. Paul Fraley's knowledge of numerology, past life regressions, and frequency healing, as well as an author, along with his partner Ellen Hawkins, of Life's Path for You, says, "After 40 years of research, I have been providing a system that has blended different approaches that will bring quickly understanding, clarity, and peace to anyone who applies it. Through a refined format of numerology that blends astrology, intuition, and numbers, I am able to create a clear view of anyone by using a person's name and date of birth. The numerology chart reveals the life lessons that a person is to face in this current life, and also details about past lives. These energies must be addressed in order to bring balance to your life. Once these energies are addressed, and you will be able to take control of your life, making your life much easier. I am able to point out what is causing damage to your life emotionally, physically, financially, and most importantly, spiritually. Life's Path for You goal is to awaken you to a purpose and to bring you to a new level of peace through consciousness. Paul's motto is, "You are special and deserving." Awesome. Welcome everyone to Andromeda 7, your celestial gateway. Hey, thanks for joining us tonight. We've got an enlightening show for you all about numerology and a path to self-realization. Now, before we get started, everyone, please feel free to like, share, and subscribe. The algorithms love it, and we love it too. Welcome new subscribers. Thank you so much. We greatly appreciate each and every one of you. Now let's welcome our panel and greet our chat room participants. And we're going to start with the panel. Let me get this off my screen so I can see you all. Yeah, that's a toughie. All right. Tonight we have myself, Lori Cross. I am the executive producer and host of the show. Teresa D. Antone, production manager, co-host Sophia, Grandpa Brian, Dalibor M. Suki, and Ellen and Paul Fraley. Or I'm sorry, Ellen Hawkins, Paul Fraley. And then tonight, we're going to go ahead and just switch this up a little bit. Sophia is going to welcome the chatters. Also, we have Ray in the house as well. Welcome. You're down there at the bottom. Didn't forget about you. I see you. Go ahead and give chat a response and welcome everyone to the show. And
Hoo-wee,
we'll get
they
this
are
party
definitely,
started.
yeah, definitely
Mhm.
filing in. Hey, everybody, how's it going? Welcome, welcome. I have definitely been totally excited for this segment, and we are going to start. I'm going to have to scroll, so bear with me. Mary Wins, welcome. Good to see you.
Mary.
Yep, Nick Doss, buddy. How's it going? GB, you're in the panel. Quit it.
That's it.
Let's see. Lee, welcome to the show. Let's see. Scroll, scroll, scroll. See, now I know what you guys go through.
Mm-hmm.
Lucky Stone. Good to see you,
Good to
brother.
see you, Lucky.
Yeah.
Hey, Lucky.
Chloe. Yay. I was
Miss
hoping
Hey,
you were
Cloco.
going to
Chloe.
be. Yeah. Nice to see you, dear.
Good to see you.
Shirley Forth. Hello. That's a 7 try or all my relations, I believe.
Oh,
Wendy
welcome, Shirley.
Schwartz, I have not seen you in chat in an age. Welcome, girl.
Hey,
Loving
Wendy.
your hair. Repeat, repeat. Keep trucking. Mark, Mark the Arc.
Mark the Arc,
Spark.
Spark.
Love it. Oh, Grumpy Stack. Nice rolling in. Falling Star. Light. Welcome. All right, I think. Oh, beloved abstract, there you are. Welcome. And Scotty Boy, you know
I
what's
don't
up.
recognize Lady. Is it Lady Creations?
I haven't gone down
LDY
that far.
Creations.
You're laughing
Been
at
a
me.
while. Love you guys.
I'm
Is that
not
a
sure.
new name?
I don't know, but welcome.
Yeah, Lady Creations.
Let's see. Did
Welcome.
we get everybody? So far, if I missed anybody, I do apologize. Welcome, and let's have some fun, guys. Let's do it.
Looks like you got
Good
Yeah,
everybody.
job. Good
cool.
job, Sophia.
Thanks.
Teresa, I'll go ahead and have you introduce our guests, reintroduce our guests again.
Well, this
Lady
is
of
a
the Lake.
wonderful.
Hello.
Yeah,
Hey.
this is a wonderful, wonderful add-on because we've had Ellen, who came in and talked about her past life surrogacy. Welcome back, Ellen. And Paul joined us for coming into accepting and working with our emotions and introduced how numerology can help you with that. And now this is an opportunity to build on that even further and go a little bit deeper into exactly the process that the two of them use in blending their technologies that they've been working with for the past 40 years in a way to help uh, increase awareness and help people come into a better understanding of who they are, why they're here, their purpose, and more importantly, their relationships with others. And so we're going to have an opportunity to hear a little bit about how they do that, how they work together. And then Paul is going to take at least 3 of our panelists, I believe it's Brian, Sophia, and Dalibor, and take a look at the numbers and their names and show us how this process works, how this is done, and how he uses his unique intuition to read the charts for people. So we're going to do that, and we're really looking forward to it. And thank you, Hannah, for joining us as well. And don't forget to unmute yourself when you're ready to speak because you're on mute. But Paul,
Anna Ray.
and,
Anna Ray's in
and
the house.
Hannah Ray, yes. So, but anyway, the two of them have this wonderful way of working together. They sure have helped me come to terms with some things. It was an affirmation of some things I already knew, but it was also a bunch of surprises, but in a good way, because it will only help me to improve my understanding of how I relate to others. So, with that, Lori, I'll turn it back to you.
I'd just like to let Ellen know, please unmute yourself. You guys are muted.
It's at the bottom of your StreamYard screen there, Ellen.
Yeah,
There you
she's
go.
got
You
it.
got it.
Yep. Thank
All
you.
right.
Right on.
Well, Paul,
Awesome.
I know you're going to be doing some chart readings and you're going to give each panel, Sophia, Dalibor, and Grandpa Brian, some info on them. Who would you like to start with tonight?
Well, I would like to start by saying, who needs a numerology chart?
Ooh, there you go. Yes,
Every
please.
Everybody.
everyone.
Everyone.
It's where I found my life at, and seen such beautiful changes in so many others. And in the last few years, I've been doing babies the day they were born,
Wow.
and sending
Interesting.
people, and because that is where, that's where we all start with this. And as we start this tonight, I want you to know that we've all walked down the path for a while, and maybe you've found your way in certain ways, but you're still running into some roadblocks, confusions, and potholes that you can resolve through numerology. And it's it's a fun thing to do as well as such an important thing. And I wanted to say this one thing: there is no number that is higher or lower than any other number. A lot of
Yeah.
times people think that a 9 is better than a 4 or something. That's not the case. Each number has its own frequency, its own vibration, and its own energy. Every letter is different. And
Right.
but I just wanted to cover that a little bit. And if you have questions, I want you to make sure that you're able to get to us, and so we can answer them either tonight or at some other date. But who are we going to start with first? Delbor?
Sophia,
Oh.
real quick, Sophia had a quick question.
Yes.
I was just going to suggest if somebody is asking you guys a question, if you guys can put it in caps so you don't get shuffled in the other chat. That's what we've done in the past, just to get ahead of that.
So if Chad has
Okay.
questions, just put it in caps and I'll pop it up there
Yeah.
for you. Great. Honestly, I think starting with Dalibor would be fantastic.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm the easy target.
Oh, no.
I
But
think
don't
you're
you
the
know
most
that's why you're-
curious about it too.
Yeah,
Don't you know that's why you're in the middle of the screen?
I know.
I got you.
I guess I noticed numerology first when I had my my phone number, which had 4 7s in it. Okay, 7977647. I mean, and I was like, that's got to be significant, definitely. And this was
Yeah.
back in 1984.
When we bought the home that we're living in, I didn't even notice it, but the address is 233, and of course that comes out to an 8,
8.
and that's what I am.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Cool.
A lot of times
Yeah.
we'll find those things, and so I've just did a light sketch of your numbers. I didn't go into the depths of it, and one of the things I've found here, Delbert, did you know that you were a Master 11 too?
Really? Wow.
Yes. Yeah.
That's not
Okay.
surprising to me.
And I'll bet you find that you are a fantastic teacher.
I was a teacher.
Yeah. 11 twos are actually the teacher's teacher. And when I say that, they can teach people who are teaching a better way to do it. And it's pretty brilliant. And I want to first start with your challenges, which comes from your birth date. And are you OCD or messy?
Messy.
Okay.
Messy, but not in in maybe physical setting, yes, but not in terms of anything to do with business. No, that in business I'm quite organized.
Yeah. Well, I always tell anyone that has that 4 challenge, if they're a lot of times people are OCD in one area and messy in another, but to calm your nervous system and to bring a lot of other structure to your daily life, I always recommend one to make their bed every morning. Never go to bed without all of your dishes cleaned and your kitchen in order. And the next one is drive an automobile clean inside and out. Of course, the outside deals with the weather. But if you do that for 6 weeks, you will probably never, ever stop doing it. And because I got the same thing, that 4 like you have, and I wouldn't think of not making that bed every morning, the dishes, and driving an automobile clean
Same
inside.
here.
Yeah, makes a big difference in life.
Yes.
And your father, you had to step forward. You got the 1 challenge, which represents father and male energies, and you had to step forward and make yourself strong enough to stand up for what you believe and what's right. And but that's what happens when you got the 1 challenge. And then you got 2, 3 challenges, which is about your expression. And most people who, for some reason, who comes up with more than 1, 3 challenge, usually ends up writing books and publishing them. And so you got that to look forward to. And sometimes with
Been there, done that. Yeah.
Yeah,
Except
he
that
does.
it never got published because I lost my data. It was on a hard drive that got fried. So I'm like trying to rewrite the whole novel.
There you go.
Again. But it's a comedic novel, and
oh, that'd be great.
pretty funny. Yeah.
Yeah. And also with that 3 challenge, sometimes we speak before we really think through what we're saying, or we hold things in until we explode or implode and never let it out. And when you implode, it will cause you illness in some form or other. So always make sure you speak. Put a little space between stimulus and response, but always make sure that you speak what you have to say. And then when we turn to your karma lessons, you have a very unusual karma lesson. You have a karma lesson of 5. Now, a lot of times you'll find the challenges of 5, but you're the 4th person in over 40 years that I've found with this 5. And you have, when I see that come up, at some time in this life, you have experienced some form of abuse. And you don't need to explain that, but can you relate to that?
No,
Verbally?
not really.
Verbally, well, you need to think about it because it is a big deal.
Could it be
And-
inner? Could it be like self, toward the self?
Not usually. It can be bullying. It can be.
Oh. Auto.
It can be
Auto, maybe?
what? Say that.
Auto. Perhaps, Delaware. Auto.
Auto? Well, I don't know. I don't think so because I consider myself a pretty
Verbally,
resilient
yeah.
person, and
Oh,
if there was abuse, I just like threw it behind me.
yeah. Well,
didn't really.
that's a good thing.
Hmm.
And but a lot of times it's just strict mother or father or siblings, and sometimes it's teachers, but sometimes we feel like that they're kind of messing with us and causing us some pain there. So
Oh yeah, yeah. Like exerting undue influence. Yeah,
yeah,
I can see that, but as to actual abuse, no. It would more like be a conflict of wills.
yeah.
Yeah, huh? Or something in the banking and finance industry that some of those guys you worked with,
Could be.
Yeah.
Yeah, could be.
I have
And
a question.
go right ahead.
So with the karma in 5, so 5 to me means change. If I'm wrong in numerology, please correct me. Would that be also karma in like changing I guess what am I trying to say?
5 is
This
conflict, chaos,
okay.
change, sudden change.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Would
Yeah.
that mean like a too much rapid change or being comfortable in a situation or not or
It can
learning?
be.
Okay.
Any things that disrupts our nervous system and our comfort zone, these sort of things come from this.
Mhm.
Does that make sense?
Yes.
Mhm.
Yeah. And by the way, your personal year you're in until your birthday in September, just a few days before mine. Um, you're in that 3 challenge. This would be a good time for you to work on that writing and
Mhm.
but yeah, and work on that expression. And next year, in September, you'll go into your 4th uh, personal year, and there you will be working on your foundation, maybe your home remodeling, changing some things, but you'll be working in the home in that area,
Oh,
and
Mhm.
but your foundation will be what you're really settling in on. And does that help you understand a
Yeah,
little?
that makes sense. Yeah, that makes
Okay.
sense because I'm considering, well, not considering, I've made up my mind about relocating from Germany back to Czech Republic.
Yeah.
I was going to ask you, Dalibor, or Paul actually, could a 5 also mean that you're picking up on a vibration there where there's a set of circumstances and events that more or less trapped you in a certain location, and other people like realtors, real estate agents that are trying to rip you off, lying to you, deceiving you,
Oh yeah, yeah,
the
yeah.
people that are stealing furnishings out of your apartment and destroying your property before you can even get it to market. Would that be a type of abuse? It's a form of abuse, but it's circumstantial. But it
Yes.
Yeah,
puts
it's
you in
like
a situation to
economic
uh-huh,
abuse.
Yeah.
Getting ripped off. Yeah,
right.
I
Yeah.
could see that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
Hmm.
abuse, though, and uh,
Hmm.
and it's so many children and things have that abuse in the schools and different things, and it's very difficult for them, and to find a better way for them to exist and learn. That sometimes even need people to, their families have to move to a different location. I just had one of those come up this week, and but it's you've got a neat chart there, and it sounds like you got most all of it under control, and that you moving that number 4, which you're going into in September, uh, that that is a time for either remodeling, moving, and so there
Hmm.
you are. You're right on schedule, and and so it brings that up pretty strong. And
Oh,
do you have
yeah.
any other questions I can answer for that right now, Delbor?
Well, does that? Do you see the number 21 in there in any way? Because I like I remarked in the last show, that's proven for me personally to be a really bad number. So I'm like avoiding, anything to do with the number 21. Like,
Well, it would come out to a 3.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So that maybe I do not see that here, but
Hmm.
it could be exactly something that has been a repeating thing in your life.
Hmm.
Yeah. And so, but look at the 3 side of that when you run onto that next time. And uh
Hmm.
Delbor, you know that you can call us anytime and we'll talk to you.
Cool.
And
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay.
And
Yeah.
so you've become family with us when we get this close to you.
Hmm.
That's awesome.
Thank you. Yeah.
All of you.
Uh-huh. Agreed. You as
Eh,
well, Ellen and Paul.
thank you. And uh,
Paul, how often do you see the existence of the challenges of the 1 and the 3 showing up with the Master 11s? Is that
uh,
typical?
it can be, but not necessarily. And it can be totally something different. And
Because
but
okay,
go ahead.
because I've seen it now on three different charts you've done,
Yeah,
plus Dalavor's.
yeah. And I'll have to
I was
look at
just
that a little
wondering.
close.
I was just wondering if it was something prevalent in an 11 profile. Okay.
I
Thanks.
I'll focus on that more, Teresa, and see if
Okay.
it comes up more. And when I look at this, all of these challenges and that 5 challenge comes from some sort of karmic energy from the past, and that's where we pick up on that and go back, and Ellen
Hmm.
or myself goes in and finds that lifetime, and we bring it forward, not only the individual, but we bring forward every soul connected to that in any and all way, clear back to the beginning of that karma, up to this very moment we're in. And
Interesting.
and it frees up a lot of energy there. That could free up these people's ripping you off and stealing the stuff, and it just makes such a difference. And so,
Yeah,
well,
I've also been ripped off in business, like
yeah,
in various enterprises, which is why, I made myself a rule where I don't go into business with anybody.
yeah,
If it's not something I personally control 100%, I'm not interested.
yeah,
In that case, I'll just be an employee. I don't care.
yeah.
Mm.
But Delbor, if you ever wanted to look at that, no matter where you're at, we can hook up like this, and
Hmm.
and clear those, set up an appointment and clear that energy that is
Hmm.
causing this particular thing that's happening to you, because it goes back to where you had did some sort of abuse in the past, and maybe, but there's no judgment there. We've all had good lives and lives that are pretty terrible.
Hmm.
so and when we clear that out, it just clears that path and releases all that energy. And
So, yeah.
so I would just want you to know what we're here for you, and and because I think you are so I can just see the intelligence in you. You're
Thanks.
so very intelligent, and I'm kind of jealous of your mind.
What
I'm
do I
here to give away.
always say?
I'm giving away
Yeah,
pieces
we
of it
love
all the
his mind.
I'm giving away pieces of it all the time.
Well, thank you for allowing me to
Thanks.
do this, Dilbert.
Sure. Well,
And
yeah.
and I
Glad
hope I
that
didn't
you were able
offend
to
you.
do it. No,
Yeah,
not at all.
yeah. Well, very
Mhm.
good. And who are we going to do next? Sophie?
Sure.
Yeah, yay.
I brought my homework.
You got it. That's
Look
a
at
nice.
that, man. She's
That's
got
a
her.
that's a nice book you got there. I got have that.
It's a thick one.
Yeah.
It's almost full.
So you based this on her birth name, her full birth name, right?
Hmm.
Yes. Has
And it's
that hasn't changed, has it?
Oh yes, I am now a Rasmussen. I was
Okay.
born a Duggar, and I'm now a Rasmussen. And that was the question when you were done, that I wanted to ask, because the pattern I was born with, and now the pattern that I have since I've changed my name, it was, I don't know. I'll get out of the way. I'm being
Well,
quiet now.
no, I
But
want
that's
to
my
answer.
question.
No,
I have a
it's
question
wanna
for that
answer-
too.
Want to answer that question.
Yeah.
Okay.
Due to our brain waves, when we are first born up to about age 5, our brain waves are in the area of 4 to 6 cycles per second. That is we see. That child sees everything in slow motion, and it accumulates all of this energy that first 5 years, and that's where it solidifies your name. Now,
Foundation.
I've had people change their name uh, later in life, and it didn't. I have never honestly can say I never felt that it was a very great experience for them at all. But it can be, I guess. But I just haven't found that. And But how long ago did you change your name?
It was changed in September of 2018.
Yeah.
And the contrast between the two was beneficial. I got lucky. My husband is fabulous.
Great. Great. And
Awesome.
but so that's very normal for the change of the husband.
Mhm.
And so uh,
Here we go, kids.
and here we go again. I want to go with that brain evolution again. So between about 6 and 13, we're around 9-10 cycles per second. And with that, we're kind of in the alpha state, and we're still accumulating a great deal of energy. And then we shift at 13. All of us remember that age 13 when we shifted and we felt like a grown up, but we're still in a child's body. It's a very difficult time for all of us. And but then you go and probably range up to 21 cycles per second and a little later, and that's where we stay the rest of our lives. But that's the reason that using the birth name is very important. Does that make sense?
Absolutely.
Okay. And we got another 11-2 here.
Yes, you do.
Yep.
What
That's
a panel.
something.
What a
Yeah.
panel.
Yeah.
And
Hey, would the same hold true, Paul, for a last name? Like so many of us come from immigrants who came to this country a long time ago. My grandparents migrated here from Italy, and they changed their last name at Ellis Island. They got the last two letters of the last name chopped off. It's D'Antonio. So that would be two missing letters from. But Lori was saying to me before the show, but you chose to come into this family in this birth line, whatever their name is, you chose it.
right. And you still experience that first 5 years of 4 to 6 cycles per second with your given name.
Right.
So that's where it forms, no matter
No, you're
what
right,
it is. Yeah, that forms there. And
Thank you.
tell me, Sophie, about your father.
He is my best friend. I had the privilege of being his caregiver for the last 18 months of his life. He was the only person that ever understood me. He would listen, and until recently, I love you people, but I flew solo for a long time. He would listen to me. He was just, I have a lot of love and respect for my father, and I miss him horribly, but I'm getting over it slowly.
Well, you and him have had, this is your 4th lifetime together.
Yeah, believe it.
Yeah. And but those were the challenges you were working out there. And sometimes when we see a lifetime like that, it was like me with my mother. She was my rock, but as I got older, I found that she was always trying to control me, which caused some issues. But I love my mother, but those sort of things go on. And it sounds like you're doing well with that. And
It was futile. They gave up.
and you have
They did.
you have another unique situation. Everybody does, so this is yours.
Okay.
You do not have any karmic lessons.
Nope.
You just have the 3 ones father. And
Again, see, 11's one's father.
and but with
All of us.
that, you will find that you're a person who will do about anything for anyone. But if people lean on you too much, you will respond with, I can't do that.
Let's communicate.
And in some of the readings, they say that's narcissistic. I have a son and a grandson who are both narcissistic. And if anybody asks them and they're moving or anything, they're not available. But if they happen to come on the scene and somebody's moving, they'll just jump in and help them. And does that make any sense with you? You don't want to be
When I
leaned on?
was younger, I was very. I would listen. I've always been available. I was very advanced as a child as far as how I was interacting with the people around me. As I got older, I realized you give what you get what you give, and I was tired of flying solo. So I didn't really force myself, but when I accepted that law, natural law, and applied it to my life, things became much more beautiful. But yes,
Very
I do
good.
have a tendency to be very selfish with my time, and I do spend a lot of time with myself. So if I'm making time for somebody, it's because they're important to me. And if
Says a
I'm
Very
lot.
disrespected
Mm-hmm.
or abused, you're going to
Mhm.
get put in an energetic timeout to keep everything healthy. I
I
put my
love the way you
mom
just
in
said that.
timeout
Yeah.
because she busted off with some fly crapola.
I,
So
when
my
I
mom's not exempt. Just my kids.
when I came up with this, uh, Sophie, it's like it's difficult for me to bring that out to people, but every time I do, they know what it is.
Mm-hmm.
And
Interesting.
yeah, and I want to say something else about you at 11s.
Oh,
You
shit.
all are so psychic, and you're so psychic from day one.
Yep.
Hmm. Spot
And
on, huh?
Even if you don't acknowledge it, or
yeah,
even if you think your family's telling you
yeah,
you're wacko. Yeah, but yeah.
and,
Sensitive.
They can be
and
wrong. They
yeah,
usually are.
and
Hannah.
yeah, a lot of times they just kind of blow you off with it, but that they don't mean to be mean with it. They just maybe
They
some
don't
do, but most
understand it.
They don't
you're
understand.
just a kid.
Mm-hmm.
But you had it. All you 11s had it from day one,
Mhm.
and so that's very good. This year, uh, started your birthday started. Yeah, and what did you hold up?
6.
Not yet.
Okay.
Your birthday started in 12/4, right?
Hmm.
And we were in 2023. You're going to run clear to the next 12/4 before that shifts. You're in a 5 year. Are you going to travel this year?
Probably.
It's a good
Probably.
year to travel and feel free, and it's just a wonderful time for you. It's
Thank
a
you.
fun time. And do you have children?
I have what are called baby birds. I did not have the privilege of giving birth in this lifetime, but it went for lack of trying. So, but I have baby birds, and one of my handles or one of my nicknames is Mama Bird and or Mother Goose because
Yeah.
this woman can tell the stories.
Mhm.
And because this next year you're going into a 6, and you're going to be dealing with family issues and a lot of commitment that may be hard for you.
Oh, I understand that second part, 100%.
Yeah.
Where the gods call, the gods equip. Rinse, repeat.
Mm-hmm.
So, um, and I hope I didn't offend you with anything
Oh,
here.
heck no.
Yeah.
Can I ask you a quick question, Paul?
Yes, yeah, I'll try my best to answer.
Okay, so I'm self-taught. I started with Norman Shine's book, and then I pick up Pat Kennedy's book. She's a past medium at Camp Chesterfield. Read her book, loved it. But this is the graph that I was born with. So it would say this one says I have 3 of them. I have
Mhm.
so you see what I'm saying?
Yes.
See how this pattern it felt like when I discovered this, and
Oh
this is a
wow.
recent discovery. So I
Yeah.
have 3 ones, 1, 2, 3
Whoa.
threes, 1, 4, 3,
Oh
5.
my gosh.
So yeah, I screwed up. I started doing Rasmussen, which is a 1, so I had to scribble it out. But
Uh,
so
yes.
or the R's a 9, the A's a 1. But it just I've never seen anybody else's chart do that. Not because I'm special, but because we all are. But
Yeah.
what say you to that, sir?
I'm very familiar with it because I used to use it a lot.
Okay. So,
But
but that pattern.
yes, yes. But the reason I stopped using it when I'm working with people, I developed my charts and things around easy understanding for someone who never had dealt with it. But
Yeah.
I can do you a chart that thick, and you may understand it, but you may be one of 1,000, and it just confuses people. And
Yeah, I can see that.
yeah, but you're beyond that. Your mind is working differently.
At least now it's
And
cool.
yeah,
She's like, I know.
But it's
Yeah.
cool now. I don't have to hide anymore.
Yeah, you guys are all just so in tune on this channel. I can see where you're helping people because you not only have the desire to, you have the mind and the spirit to do it. And
Absolutely.
that's a big deal.
Yep.
Big
Thank
deal.
you.
And so I don't know if that helped you any or not, but it helped me know you.
Thank you. I
Helped
appreciate
us
your
too.
time and energy. That was
And
very nice.
I really liked your
Yeah.
smile from the first time I was on here.
It feels good to use it. It was out of service
Yeah.
for a long time. So I guess I'm making up for it now, but thank you.
Good.
Uh,
Good.
Sure.
You
Well,
know,
you sure have, Sophia. You sure have.
yes.
like Moses in the desert, he was there for 40 years. It seems like people after they're 40 to 45, they begin to find themselves more. And before that, they're staggering around in the wilderness.
Guess what my handle
You know-
also is? Bird in the wilderness.
Mhm. Yep. Yep.
You know, Sophia, the vibration of your birth name, Rebecca,
Mhm.
that's beautiful, beautiful shining one.
It is beautiful.
And Duggar breaks down in Germanic to day warrior.
Mhm.
And so ever since I've met you, I've thought, she's a beautiful, shining day. You're a warrior. You
I
have
am.
that warrior spirit. That
F around
warrior
and find
spirit.
out.
Yeah. But
Mhm.
you've got the humor and the kindness, the sweetness that goes with it. But you can
Finally.
be tough as a box of rocks when you have to be.
Oh boy.
So
It sleeps. It's
yeah,
not dead.
there's great
Get the best of
synchronicity
both
between
worlds.
you and Lori because you're
Great.
both very much alike in that regard. Yeah.
And Sophie,
Just
if
being
there's
around you two has helped me get mine back too.
Yeah, a little spunky.
There you
That's
go.
Yeah.
Sophie, the
Yes,
same with you. If you ever need to talk to us about anything, or I don't know where you are with past lives and things, but I would be able to give you more information about that. And
I'd love to work with you.
yeah,
That's a fabulous idea.
and it's all great work, and it just makes things run smoother.
Indeed.
Hmm.
Yes,
Like a
that's
well-oiled
you.
machine.
yes, it
Yeah.
does. It's just
That was fun.
and
Cool.
very
So how do you
good.
feel? How do you feel about that, Sophia? I mean, just that little bit of information. What did that do for you? I mean, how do you feel about it yourself? Confirmation, a little more than you thought.
A lot of it, because I've studied it for so
Mhm.
long, it's very validating for me because
Confirming.
sometimes you get the analysis paralysis to where you kind of
Mhm.
vapor lock. And I think
Yeah.
that can be my challenge if I'm not mindful of what I'm asking my body, my mind, and my spirit.
Mhm.
It's keeping them in sync because
Mhm.
sometimes my mind will get ahead of my body. It'll be 2 o'clock in the morning, and my brain and my body are just kind of like bed. My spirit's like, but one more chapter,
Mhm.
So maintaining that balance and a lot of validation. I really love the fact that after studying, he's like, bam, bam, bam. I'm like, yes, yes, yes.
Mhm. That's
So
great.
Thank you so much, Sophie.
yeah, I
Mhm.
love numerology because it tells you It gives you your unique energy signature, in my opinion. And until you know what your signature is and focusing on your strengths, because a lot of people, when they look at their charts, whatever chart it may be, they tend to look at their weaknesses,
Yeah.
and come on, our ancestors gave us more than curses, the strength, balance. Look at all of it. Don't beat yourself up.
And
Don't, because you picked it.
and when
Yep.
Mhm.
and when I do a complete chart, like for Teresa, there's the good and the bad and the ugly all right in there, isn't there?
That should be.
It covers
Yeah.
all of it. It shows you your career. It shows you how you function. It just shows all of these neat things. And it's what are
Mhm.
it, about 10, 11 pages?
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Easy.
yeah,
Nice.
easily. Yeah.
Yeah. And but it does, and it just helps
Yeah.
you drive around, I say, the potholes of life. That's what it
Mm-hmm.
did for me. I just
Yep.
quit wrecking myself hitting those potholes.
Yeah.
You know,
You
Yeah,
did
the
mine,
guardrail.
Paul.
you,
Excuse me. You did mine, Paul, and I have to tell you, it was spot on. And what it did for me was I learned what I have overcome, and maybe some of the things I still need to work on. So that for me was very validating and confirming as well.
Mhm.
So it really made a difference to see it on paper and then to be able to go back and really look at it and see the numbers because I
Yeah.
wasn't aware of it before, but now I am. And so
Yes.
the awareness is what gives you the power to make
Yes.
those changes. Yeah.
Mhm.
And
Sorry,
Well, I hope
Teresa.
that
Yeah,
this is. That's
I can
okay,
say
sweet.
that your analysis
Yeah.
is accurate. That I come to the pretty much the same conclusions, except that I was kind of stunned by what you said about the September of this year being like the key for movement or
yeah,
making some. Yeah, that's
yeah,
what I needed pretty much
yeah. This
because
whole next year is that's what you need to work on,
yeah,
and
which
and
is what I
it'll
will
be
be working on.
and
Yeah.
it'll flow so easy for you, but because you're in the right year and your
Hmm.
frequency is really tuned into that. But you
Hmm.
tune into it anyway. That you knew where you was going. But a
Hmm.
lot of
Yeah.
people don't. A lot of people, I'm not doing anything. They'll call me
But
one day and say, "Well, we just moved,"
sure. Well, see, unlike a
and
lot of people, I know what my mission in life is. I just don't talk about it with other people. I know what it is.
yeah,
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah.
yeah,
A
Well,
strong
to
sense of
me, it's
self.
like a.
Hmm.
Hmm.
To me, it's like a capstone. It's like everything comes together. Everything I've been working on for the past 2 years. Every kind of self-reflection, every meditation, every discussion with spirit, putting the pieces of my life together, putting everything together, and then you come along with this, and I kind of feel like it's the capstone on the upper. It's you now have a such a broad view. You're armed with such information that it's not only an affirmation of certain things that you thought all along, but it's also a clarification of what you didn't know. So now you can be more accepting, and that opens up your energy flow
yes,
to the universe. I just feel so relieved because of what the chart had in it. And it really got me thinking click, 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 and things make a whole lot more sense now as to why things happen. I've just been so cheerful since I've gone through it with you
very
that
good.
I can't see straight. Yeah.
Yeah,
I had no idea. People, I had no idea. I really didn't.
And that's
And
why this is so
so
valuable
and
yes.
to
and most
understand who
people
you
do.
are.
Most people, they're not like this panel because they don't they don't even have any idea sometimes that it exists. And then
Yeah.
there's a better way. And
Hmm.
I hope that,
Yeah.
as we reach out to more people, as Ellen and I have for many, many years, we can, I just want to help everybody I can.
Well,
That's right.
And yeah,
most people out there, especially the Christians, they don't believe in things like past lives.
I am a
Whereas,
Christian.
I know
Yeah.
for a fact that
Yeah. Yeah.
100% that past lives are not only a real thing, but they're impacting everything that we do in this particular
Sure.
life.
Oh
Hmm.
Yeah.
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 And,
Sure.
and it's just like there's a passage, what is it in Proverbs? Teach us to number our days that we may apply our hearts unto wisdom.
Oh,
Mm.
yes.
I like
Yes.
that.
Oh my
And-
God, now I realize what that means.
Mhm.
And then
So,
you go way
Oh
on
my
back
God.
and another couple thousand years, and you find where God sent down an angel or something to Abraham and Sarah and added an H to their name. H is a number of power, money, and success, and they were
Snake.
very successful after that. And so uh,
Yeah.
when you
well,
get
yeah, because
reading
Abraham used to be Abram, right?
Abram to Abraham, and
Yeah.
Sarah just got the H. She
Hmm.
laughed about it, but she had a child in her old age, supposedly.
Hmm. So did
After,
Elizabeth.
yeah,
I
after this,
should.
and so, yeah,
That's cool.
I believe in the Creator. Uh, I can't look at, I can look out here at my oak tree or something and see how it's been created. I can watch the birds. I can just look at everything and the wisdom He's given us to build our homes, the high rises. Uh, I think that comes from the Creator. That great wisdom,
Mm-hmm.
and it's in all of us. He kind of mixed it up and put it all in all of us. So uh, that's the reason that I believe in that area, Elbora. And I sure don't believe in dogma at all.
Same
That
here.
I just step away from that, and
Hmm.
but uh, that don't make me any better or any worse than another person. I don't think.
Hmm.
So that's good. Well, who's down here in the corner?
Brian's up next.
Brian, are you asleep?
No, I am not.
He's intently
He's
listening.
snoring.
No, he's listening.
No,
He snores
he's
when he
listening.
sleeps.
Yeah.
Here,
Yeah.
You little shit.
Yeah, Teresa knows that one.
I know.
No.
That was a previous show. Sorry, guys.
There's a bear in the woods. No, it's just Grandpa Brian snoring.
Love you, buddy. Sorry about that.
Love you
I didn't
too.
even know that was an inside joke. I just said it. Okay.
I know.
Forgive me.
I set you all up on that
I had
one.
to clarify
Oh, that
that
was
a little.
great.
The
And-
look on
Okay.
Raven's face, she was just like,
Right. Yeah, that was funny.
yes, Grandpa
right.
Brian.
Get
Brian
into
Rick.
Yes.
Grandpa Brian. Yes.
we got
Brian Mike.
a super healer here,
Mm-hmm.
a master
Uh-huh.
33-6,
Yeah.
and their healers are great leaders. As I say, numbers there's no good or bad; they're all the same. They just vibrate different. But you got yours vibrating in a very healing setting. You've earned this through different lifetimes that you've come up with this, and just like during World War II, all the 5-star generals were masters, and like Eisenhower, he was like you, a 33. Um, Patton and MacArthur, they were 44s, and
Wow.
there was some that were 11s, but they were the ones that came together and saved our country,
Mm-hmm.
and probably saved a great deal of the world as we
Sure.
know it today. And but we'll go over here. He's got uh, your father. This also is your 4th lifetime with your father. And can you relate to that? It's karma. It's challenged.
Oh, yes.
And because you're such a strong person. And you've got 4 ones in your name. The number 1 comes up 4 times. When you have over 3 of them, you've got to watch yourself because you can offend people because you step forward very strong. Does that make sense?
Yes.
And sometimes we need to, it's like if you have a group of people working with you or for you or in any other state, instead of saying you're doing that wrong, which, they are doing it wrong, okay? You say, you say to them, I'm looking at the way you're doing this. Do you think, okay, the mind went in gear when you think, and say, do you think if we did it this way, it'd work better and could turn out better? And you're getting them to think, and it'll be easier for you. And at that point, you become their greatest friend. If you walked up to them and said, you know, you're really doing that wrong. Why are you doing it that way? A wall goes up. And I think we all ought to use this system. I try to, but a wall goes up and they don't want to hear anything you got to say.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So does that make any sense?
Oh, yes.
And um, your mother shows up there once in your challenges, and that deals with mother relationships, and in that area, I don't know what your relationship was with your mother or is, but that was a that goes with all women usually in your life, and so you can go through that, and you're you're quite a doormat. And let me explain this to you. You have so much giving energy that you reach out and you want to help people that are in trouble. Okay, and you want to give to them or give them advice, and uh, it really gets to you when you find out that they're abusing your goodwill, either not listening to you or whether they're just taking advantage of maybe something you've been giving them along. And so just be aware, just don't let people use you in your kindness, because after they use you, it makes you very angry at times. And can you relate to that?
Oh, yes, I can.
Yeah. Yeah. You don't have to take care of all of them, but you can teach them to take care of themselves. That's what you have. You have that great power of that healing. And um, you in the karma lessons, you got the 6 and the 7. The 6 represents you are slow to, at times, especially when relationships or things, to put your foot in the water. You'll put your toe in the water, but it takes you a while to commit and move on in. You hold back, and so that goes into family issues and that. So just just realize that that's a karmic thing someplace in your past history and in different lives. You've been abused by uh, being too quick to reach out to people, and so now you're cautious. You know, you've been bitten, and you're not going to do it again. Does that make sense?
Yes, it does.
He's
And
cautious now.
and the number 7, that is a tricky number. That number 7, Ellen has it. I have it. I don't know how many here has it.
I've got it. Yep.
Yeah, and
Mhm.
um, it causes fear of rejection, um, shyness,
Yeah.
and what else am I wanting to say?
It's the only 7 I have.
And depression, and that hit.
Depression, yes. Yeah.
Yes, and that hits as that 7 year comes up. It's like you're in a 9 year now to your birthday on the 5th of 5/6, and back 2 years ago. Let's see. Wait. Let's see. Yeah, 2 years ago, you felt that depression a little more than normal. But every time we hit that 7, it does that, and that has been. And when you have some other numbers that line up with that 7, you that is when people many times commit suicide. You don't have that. You just have the 7, and but it is and it usually relates to a relationship breakup, and so that's something that a person needs to be cautious of. And very early in your life, let's see, uh, the first 3 to 4 years, there was some kind of loss you may not even remember, but somewhere in you remember that you had a loss during that period of time, either a death in the family or something that was very close to you. And I don't know if you can relate to that or not. And but you're finishing up a 9-year period now and getting ready. All these ideas that you have in your mind, because you're getting this energy all the time, all of that, uh, pick out something that you want to get started. And right after your birthday, up to the next year birthday, that is, you're in a number one year. And that's when you want to launch something that you've been wanting to do, and it'll unfold for you very easy. And but you got a great chart there, and you come in to help a lot of people, and so you'd make a great leader in any area you chose to go into. And so
You can't say no, telling to get back
yeah,
with me later.
yeah, and this is another thing. No is a hard word to use. This is for all of us. So, and you have people come to you repeatedly wanting something, and
Mhm.
and instead of saying no, just say, "Get back with me next week," and you're going to offset them till the and 90% or more time they will find their way, and you're just enabling them by giving, giving, giving. So just learn to use that. Get back with me if you don't want to say no. No can be a very cold word.
Hmm.
And
Some of us are not afraid to use it.
Totally.
Yeah, I was
Some of
about
us
to
has
say that.
learned the art of
No, I
saying
was
no.
about to say
wait a
that.
minute, I can
Yeah.
hear you.
See, anything that leaves is just time to let go.
Yeah, that's right. Thank you, Ellen. I need you hooked up here. This year, too, up until your birthday, and about 52 days before your birthday, this is part of a Rosicrucian number thing, you will, it'll be a time, anything that you want to let go, let it go. It's a time to do it. And you've already let some things go this year, probably.
Oh, yes. I've
Yes.
been in that process for, yeah, definitely a year.
Yeah. Yeah. You're getting close to it there, but to get that cleaned out so that you got that free, open one to come up with to start that new energy of whatever you want it to be.
Yeah.
And you know, Brian, you can always call us too.
Yeah. That was spot on, especially with my mom, because we have a karmic cycle of her being my mom and us butting heads. I know that now, so I'm trying to break that karmic cycle. What you said about the sevens, I was at the age of 14 when I started suffering from depression, and I suffered from depression for about 10 years.
Yeah.
So there was that 7 cycle when the 14, boom,
Mm-hmm.
I hit that depression.
Well, I'll tell you.
That was pretty accurate.
Yeah. And
Surprising, isn't it?
Yes, it is.
Mm-hmm.
well, all you masters running around here, I don't know what to do with you.
I feel
many-
to break it to you,
11.
but I'm an 11 too.
Yeah,
Are
she
you,
is.
Hannah?
Too many,
Uh-huh.
too
What do
many
you think
chiefs and
about
no
all this,
Indians.
Hannah?
I've gotten into numerology for a long time. I'd be driving and I'd see license plates 11122225555. I'm like, what are the odds? What's the
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
percentage of seeing that? And so it led me into angel numbers, and then it led me into we have a number that, like, a life path soul number, karmic number, and I kind of got into it a few years ago when he was talking about Sophia's and Dalabor's
Dalibor. Mm-hmm.
11s. I was like, yeah, this
Mhm.
is. I was like
Mhm.
kicking. I was like,
Present.
yeah.
Ray, when is
Very
your
interesting.
birthday?
Did you
December 7th.
notice?
Go ahead.
December 7th, 1999.
December?
work
Oh, I
with
love him so much. Yes.
December 7th, 1999.
His voice is so sweet.
Uh-huh.
He has a very
Hannah, when
homey-
you were noticing those numbers, were you noticing that there's patterns in everything?
Yes.
I mean,
Oh,
like
yeah.
I'll see a bus number, which was my old bus route number,
Mhm.
like say 59,
Mhm.
and then I live at 59. You know, or you'll see synchronicities with numbers that like. Why do I keep seeing that same number keep popping up? Like I'm 25510 where I live
Mhm.
now, but the 5510 was in a phone number of another place. And it was a
Mm.
route number that I had with a bus. And so you sit there and go, okay, what does this mean? Why did this number keep showing up in my
Yeah.
life in certain patterns?
Yeah.
And when you add them
Yeah.
all up and find out the meaning of the numbers, you get a message there
Yes.
about your life.
Yeah.
So I'm in
Or
this house right now because I'm dealing with financial issues, but all of my other places I lived, I had no finance issues. It was happiness, joy, and prosperity. But where I'm living now, had I known that, I wouldn't have bought the house. So the address
Mhm.
25510. I'm not going anywhere near that house, right?
We're like, no. For me,
Mhm.
I'm not sure if I have any unlucky numbers, but 23 has been following me a lot.
Oh, okay.
23.
I live at 23. My house number is 23.
See,
But 23
and
is a good number for me.
Paul, if you need my name, I
Uh,
think
I'm not going to get that deep into
sure,
it, but
sure.
once again, you can call and I'll do that up
Yeah.
for you. And
It's
you're
interesting.
on. Go
It's
ahead.
interesting. It's interesting that lately, past year or two, anytime I look at the clock, it's always something 11, like 9/11, or even
That's a karmic
11/11,
number,
or 6/11, or 3/11. It's always something 11. I'm like, that's got to
huh?
mean something, because 411 used to mean information, right?
Mm-hmm.
So that's 911 is emergency, 411 is information. I know there's other 11 numbers now that they have, like 611, I believe, or whatever.
Yeah, and I'm sure them numbers all mean things, mean
Hmm.
something to us. And I'll get that, and for a few weeks, and then it'll stop and go to something else. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
so, but some people just keep getting it over and over again, and I really haven't been the best at figuring that out for them. But it does happen. And uh, Puerto Rico, there you are. Uh, you knew you was an 11 too, also,
Who, me or someone else?
Ray.
Oh yes, I believe I'm an 11. Yes.
Yeah, you're an 11 too. You're the master teacher. You 11s
The
are teacher
11's got it.
teacher. Yeah,
11.
yeah, and uh,
She's an
you
11 too?
yeah,
No
Wait,
way.
really?
That's crazy.
isn't this crazy? She's an
That's
11 too.
crazy. That's so
Uh,
funny.
Ray, you're in a 8 year, which deals with money and legal issues. Doing if I don't know if you have that any problem with that in your name or anything, but we can
Mhm.
later we could find out. But the 8 year, that's what you want to work on is your finances and things of that nature. Uh, this pa-
Wow.
uh, this past year, before your birthday in December, it was December, right?
Yeah.
And you were in that 7 pattern, and I don't know. Uh, do you have any G's, P's, or Y's in your name?
In my last name, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Then you don't have the 7. And but tell me about when you were a young person, how you got into religion.
Wow. Wow. Okay. Basically, I went through a period in my life where I identified as like bi, or like I was really out in the open that I liked women. And that was the first time that I knew that my dad was, one, religious, and two, homophobic. And he kind of used religion to kind of be like, you're not supposed to be this way. And I internalized that very, very negatively at the time. And that was my first introduction. After that, I was more fascinated with religion and the culture. And it kind of, at first I turned my nose up at it because I was like, what? What is this? And now, a few years ago, I'm more intrigued and more open to the idea of religion and what truth and wisdom it holds.
Yeah, it does. As long as we stay away from that dogma, we don't get offended. Well, the reason I ask you that, you spent your last lifetime as a priest, a nun, a monk.
Flippin' knew it. I knew that.
And,
Man.
but you lived a life of abstinence.
Wow.
And this is the reason you had probably a little difficulty there with your sexuality, because you were abstinent. You had no sex or anything in that lifetime. And a lot of times a person will be a little overactive in that area if they don't know what it is. And it's nothing bad, but it's that was an imbalance that comes with the 4 and the 6 challenge. And your mother, this is your third lifetime with your mother.
Oh.
And are you messy or OCD?
Both.
Okay.
Can I check off both boxes?
Both.
Ray, I don't know if you heard me before, but if you will make that bed and never go to bed without that kitchen clean and in order, and drive an automobile clean inside and out, just do it for 6 weeks and you'll never stop.
And I want to back that up. Like when I make my bed, like in the morning, it did change my life. It really did.
Yeah.
It did.
You walk back into that bedroom, no clothes on the floor, and the bed made. It's
Organized.
like, hello, you're welcome. Come on in. And you went in there and that bed's all a mess and there's clothes everywhere. And you say, oh my God, I don't even want to be here. You do it anyway, but you feel that way. And but those 3 little things will really help you. And you had trouble, like I was talking to Brian, you have trouble with making commitments. You're slow at it. You'll put that toe in the water, but it takes you a minute to get the foot in because you just have that energy to somewhere along the line to protect yourself.
Yeah.
And but I had the privilege. Ellen found it. A few months ago. I never divulge anybody's name on this, but a few months ago, this young lady came and she was a pope.
Oh, wow.
That was a biggie for us. We'd never
Wow.
found. And she was the one, she would tell you, she was the one that was a reformer. She was the one that stopped the other priests and everybody in the church from being married or any sexual activity at all. And that was a thing that probably brought on more difficulty today than it was back then. But he was the one back then, and we found it and we got it cleared for her because beautiful young lady, she wanted nothing to do with a relationship.
And it stemmed from that lifetime.
Yes. And we got that cleared now.
Right.
And does that help you guys any at all?
Oh,
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And but in relationships and mother, right? Just know whatever that is, because this is your third lifetime with your mother. And
I want to be like, only? It's only been 3?
well, it could be more when we do the numbers for the your name,
Mm-hmm.
but I don't.
Oh, you're okay. Yeah.
Yeah, and but if I'd have known it, I'd have had all that done for you.
Oh,
Yeah.
it's okay.
She was a
okay.
last minute.
I was a last minute. I was
Yeah.
trying.
But aren't you glad?
I'm very happy. Wow.
There you go.
And I am interested in getting a more in-depth reading with you if that's
Yeah, it's
I'm fascinated.
and it just and when we do those past lives and things, it just clears so many things up.
So you do numerology with past life energy
well,
too.
like here, I would know with you, I would know to look for that church setting, and also the area there where you were with your mother, and we would go back, and what Ellen gets, that's I go in a different way than she does, but she does it in the bathtub, and she'll come out with 3 or 4 lifetimes for you. She's
Wow.
amazing. Can I let her talk a little bit?
Yeah, sure.
Yes,
you bet.
please. Yes. We want to hear
That
how
would
you
be
blend these
interesting how that
technologies.
blends the
Yeah.
technology. Yeah.
Yeah.
What is it?
Awesome.
What? No, there you're going to talk about.
He's
how we
adorable.
find it.
Yeah, he is.
Okay, here I am. I'm trying to run away. What do you? Okay. I'm
So-
playing.
We're interested on how you bring the energetic aspect into the reading of the numerology and clearing the energetic fields of people that. So you're in tandem with Paul, but how does that work for you specifically? We're very curious.
Well, what I do is I go to spirit. I've worked in this for over 40 some years, so I have a pathway that I take, and there's certain things that I do to steps that I do to get into a certain level of mind. And I work with some of the archangels, at least 4 of them. But I go in and it comes to me like a scenery. I may see or hear something, and then it takes off and I start seeing a whole story and a whole picture, and it just broadens out. And then I write this down. And then when we're doing a session, Paul, we will go through it and speak to the person about this past life. And then Paul goes through the thing of relieving and releasing all the energy in that lifetime. And also something that's very, very important is that he closes the veils and the doors so there's no energy that will come in again, because once you clear the energy and the karma, you do not want it to be wide open. For me, open it up even more and more things coming in. The biggest thing you want to do is clear, because if too much comes in, we find with some people it causes a lot of confusion in their life.
Mhm.
But I just, like sometimes people before they like to go in and find their own past life, we just guide them. But I find that I can go in as a surrogate and I can find anywhere between 3 to 4 past lives in one setting. And if I take a person in for a past life, the amount of time it takes me to find those, they go through one. And also, if you're going to look at something karmic that's painful, we have approach avoidance. So people don't really want to get into it, where I could just view it and then tell to them about it. And then in a safe area where they're open and awake, we can discuss what's going on. And it's easier for people to cope that way because they have us right there beside them to help lead them through it. And we find that once we find these things, that people, one of the biggest words they say, we say, well, like, how are you feeling? I feel so much lighter. 99.99999% of the time, that is the word that we get. So through this, we have found many people have gotten many blessings in so many different ways. We've had women that couldn't have babies that's now got babies. We have people that did not have any relationship with like their mother or father, and now they do. So there's a lot of things that go on, a lot of clearing. And I've never had anybody that after we worked them say, gosh, I wish we haven't done this. we always get a positive review.
Mhm.
Does that
Well,
help?
it's a very unique combination that the two of you bring together, which is just fascinated us. So we're so honored and pleased to have you share that with us. It's just been a fascinating couple of weeks here with this. So we just want to thank you so much, and we are coming to the end of the show. Wanted to get some final thoughts in there. I'll start with you, Grandpa Brian. You have some final thoughts on all this tonight?
Well, everything's connected together. Your
Hmm.
numerology, your birth chart, karma cycles, they're all interconnected together. And once you've done past lives and your astrology and numerology, it everything will start making more sense to you. I know a lot of people don't have access like some of us do, but you can always get a hold of Paul, get a hold of Ellen, and
Hmm.
there are other people I'm sure that are online that you could go to get some of these things done, so you can start realizing, okay, now that's why this happened to me. What did I learn from that? It's
Self-understanding. Yeah.
self-understanding. Everything's connected, and
Hmm.
it's all about you.
Hmm. Yep. Well said, Grandpa Brian. Well, good, good, good. Sophia, final thoughts on what you experienced tonight?
I love the fact that something like this can teach you to know yourself,
Hmm.
because until you
Yes.
know what you are and why you're down here, I was floundering, until I found through numerology, astrology, past, doing my own past life regressions to be like, let the light bulbs come on so you can get down to business while you have a physical body on the physical plane, if that's what you're called to do. Some
Hmm.
people come down here for what I call vacation lifetimes, where they
Hmm.
just seem to sail through everything.
Yep.
There's not as many of them as you think,
Uh-huh.
but I would say find out what you are, what you bring to the table, and blaze guns, man. Let's
There
do
you
it.
go. I
Let's
love
do
that.
it. Yeah.
Let's rock and roll, Sophia.
Let's do it. Yeah, kids, let's go.
Awesome. Dalibor, final thoughts for you, my friend?
Well, I think this is an extremely valuable exercise, and for those of the general public that don't have these abilities, something like numerology, astrology, that's quite a valuable service that you do, because it's pretty much confirmed what I already know. But then again, I use a different medium, different modalities, I would say, like
Mm-hmm.
the cards or the pendulum or stuff like that. But I also think Ellen's approach is very innovative, because I've never heard of
Agreed.
somebody doing like a past life regression for somebody
Yeah.
else, where that person can experience it vicariously, so to speak,
Best of both
without
worlds.
without having to go through the trauma of that past life, and just observing it dispassionately at a distance, kind of like reading text on a page.
Mm-hmm.
So that's pretty valuable, and it could serve as the impetus for that person to either delve into that past life and explore it a bit more if it wasn't too traumatic, or
Mm-hmm.
that knowing that there was trauma, knowing what to expect from that
Yeah.
experience, because I've been
Yep.
regressed
Mm-hmm.
professionally, and it was an enlightening experience. Definitely, it explained a lot.
Hmm.
Let's just
Excellent.
say, yeah.
Hannah Ray, final thoughts for somebody kind of coming in cold to this and not really knowing what was going to happen? What's your final thoughts on this?
It was a wonderful. I think back to what my dad had said to me growing up. Didn't know what he meant at the time, and as I grew up, I quickly learned.
Mm-hmm.
Every numbers. If you have a question, you can break it down. He's like, the universe is made up of numbers, and I'm like, what do you mean? And but it's
Yeah.
true. I mean, every number has a vibration, and it kind of coincides with astrology that certain energies, it's easier to do it's easier to start a business in an 8 year than like say, I don't know what other number would be unlucky. But, uh,
I started my business in 2008, had it for 14 years.
okay,
Yeah. So,
okay.
Mhm.
But it's about knowing yourself, and I hear a lot of people say like it just resonated, or it just confirmed what I already knew, and I think that alone can show that humans know deep down intuitively and just consciously that what they're here to do, why
Mhm.
they're here, and something in them has this self-doubt or opposing view for some reason, and things and tools like numerology, astrology can remind us,
Mhm.
hey, like remember.
We do have
Yeah.
something we can fall back on, tools
Mm,
that we can to make this journey a little bit easier and not so
mm,
tough all the time. Like
Right.
Paul said, the speed bumps and the, you know,
mhm.
the dips and bends and yeah. Teresa,
Mhm.
how about you? Final thoughts on tonight's show?
Well, Paul, Alan, thank you so very, very much for
Absolutely.
taking the time to go into such detail on me, and for the panelists here, and for coming on the show and teaching everybody what you've learned and all your years of experience. Can't put a
Thank you.
price tag on it. It's invaluable
Mhm.
to me.
Yeah,
Um, I
very much
stumbled
honored.
across something. Yeah, very honored. And when Hannah was just saying, yeah, I had that attitude of, well, I already know a lot of this about myself. I don't need a numerology chart to tell me about myself. But it goes beyond it. It goes to a deeper level. It's not just my personality traits or my zodiac or my character. It goes deeper into the interrelationships and to cycles of things that I'm working on that I didn't realize, or to things about other people that I'm heavily involved with within my inner circle as to why things are happening. And I'm one of those who's had the fortunate experience of reliving, not reliving, but getting glimpses of past lives and understanding that there's certain types of karma, but not understanding how they're interconnected was frustrating me to no end. And um, Lori's been a great help. We have had a tremendous journey these past couple of years together, exploring the meaning of these things. But I came across this. I wanted to read this for you, Paul and Ellen, in because and folks, this is what a person who has gone through this process gets from this, and it so resonated with me to the inner core that I posted it. I release I release my parents from the feeling that they have failed me. I release my children from the need to make me proud so that they can write their own ways according to their hearts. This is what these revelations teach you in numerology. I release my partner from the obligation to make me feel complete. I lack nothing in myself. I learn with all the beings that surround me through all time. I thank my grandparents and ancestors who meet me so that today I may breathe life, and I release them from the faults of the past and from the wishes they did not fulfill, aware that they did the best they could to resolve their situations within the consciousness they had at that moment. I honor them, I love them, and I recognize their innocence. I bare my soul before their eyes, and that is why they know that I do not hide or owe anything more than being faithful to myself and my own existence, walking with the wisdom of the heart. I am aware that I am fulfilling my life project, free of visible and invisible family loyalties that may disturb my peace and my happiness, which are my greatest responsibilities. I renounce the role of savior, of being the one who unites or who fulfills the expectations of others. And learning through love, I bless my essence and my way of expressing, although there may be someone who cannot understand me. I understand myself because only I lived and experienced my story. Because I know myself. I know who I am, what I feel, what I do, and why I do it. I respect and approve. I honor the divinity in me and in you. We are free. Folks, That's what
Love
the
you, Teresa.
numerology.
I love you.
Did
Okay.
you write that?
No, it came from Sacred Dreams, which is a group that I'm. It's a
Oh.
traditional Nahuatl prayer. It's an Aztec prayer, and you will see this type of prayer in every epoch through every group, whether it be Buddhist, Hindu, every group around the world has had this understanding of the releasing because of the numerology. It's because they practiced this as a form of inner soul communication. It's knowing your blueprint, it's knowing how you're put together, and it's understanding how everything works and is interrelated. And then they release it. And that's what you guys helped me to. It was a final. I have to say that I reached at the pinnacle. It was a final moment for me after all the work that I've been doing with Lori and myself for the past in this program for the past couple of years. It finally just all came to a head when I saw that chart laid out and saw the interrelationships and the numbers and how things work within my own family unit. And I'm sure if I were to break down my mom, my other sisters, I would find out even more. And I'm probably going to do that.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Well,
So anyway,
guys,
thank you.
we're going to end
Thank
it
you.
on that note. Thank you so very much. Thank you for everyone in chat. Thank you for all watching quietly. Thank you for all that will see this. And I want to leave you with this. Show love and be kind.
Yes.
Until next week, everyone, have a
Yeah.
wonderful weekend and thanks for coming in.
Thank you, thank you, thank you.
You betcha.
Have a wonderful weekend, everyone. Love you.
Peace.
I love you and I love